What's going on, nation? Today I want to address something that is very common when training, and that's shoulder and elbow pain on some of the most basic muscle and strength building exercises. So if this sounds like you, I have the massive fix so you can train harder and longer with zero pain. Now, a show of hands or likes, right down there, how many of you deal with shoulder pain when you're performing an exercise like the barbell bench press, barbell shoulder press, or a barbell incline press? And how many of you tend to avoid exercises like barbell skullcrushers, barbell curls, and barbell bent over rows because they always seem to cause elbow pain and discomfort, or maybe some pain in your wrist as well? Well, the main reason why you're getting all that pain and pressure in your joints is because the straight bar doesn't exactly provide a natural movement pattern for everyone's anatomy, especially if you tend to have a lot of tightness in your shoulders. Guys, we're all built differently, and not all exercises are for everybody. On top of that, the straight barbell doesn't allow for much mobility throughout the range of motion like dumbbells do, because when you use a straight barbell, your arms are pretty much locked in place like this. But with dumbbells, you have the freedom to actually internally rotate your shoulders a bit until the movement feels more comfortable on your joints. So the solution is easy, right? Just use dumbbells. Well, not so fast. While dumbbells will make an excellent solution for maybe fixing that pain you have in your joints, in most cases you won't be able to overload your muscles to the max with as much weight as possible. Also, dumbbells require a lot of balance and stabilization, which is good, but also may place even more stress on your joints instead of getting rid of it for those of you who are having joint issues. Just think about how much more weight you can lift when benching or overhead pressing using a barbell. Even when it comes to exercises like skull crushes, bent over rows, or barbell curls, you'll always be able to overload your muscles more when using a barbell versus dumbbells. So, if this is you and you seem to be plateauing on any of these movements because joint pain is holding you back, here is what you can use to not only avoid joint pain, but still progress with your movements, and that is the Swiss barbell. Now, the Swiss barbell goes by a few different names, such as the football barbell, multi-grip barbell, and the American barbell, but whatever you want to call it, it works. I actually picked one up for my studio because as I continue to progress with my Cheat and Recover program that I'm building for you guys, it's coming, don't worry, I still have slight pain in my left shoulder from a previous injury, and I needed something to not only alleviate the pain, but help me progress with my bench press. But the reason why it helps reduce shoulder strain is because the barbell itself has multiple places for you to grab it, allowing for a full neutral grip or slightly turned in grip on exercises that you wouldn't normally be able to do this on, such as a barbell bench press or a barbell shoulder press. This change in how you grip the barbell can also bring more triceps into your pressing movements as well, which will mean more power. In fact, most people who turn to dumbbells on a bench press usually do so for the sole reason that you can internally rotate your shoulders a bit to reduce shoulder strain and bring more triceps into the movement. But the big difference here is with the Swiss barbell, you will be able to create the same range of motion as when using dumbbells, but you will be able to press a lot more weight. Now, let's expand on that last point a bit. Typically, the main reason that holds a lot of you back from heavy pressing movements is due to the fact that the straight barbell places too much stress on the shoulders. This is because they're stuck in a fixed position that leaves little to no room in your shoulder joint, which can create friction between the tendons, synovial bursa, and bones, and over time can lead to shoulder pain or serious injury. But with the Swiss barbell, you have the choice of either adducting your shoulders with the neutral grip or slightly internally rotating them by using the middle grip to take as much stress out of the shoulder joint as possible. Also, particularly if you're not warming up and stretching before and after your workouts, or if your shoulder mobility is limited for some other reason, pressing with straight barbells will most likely deteriorate your condition. So not good, guys. But the Swiss barbell can be used for much more than just pressing movements. For example, I'm sure many of you have wanted to bring more intensity to an exercise like the dumbbell hammer curl. And you can do that by utilizing the neutral grips on the Swiss barbell. Or maybe your wrist hurt when trying to perform a standard barbell curl. Well, you can use the slanted grips to simulate that exercise as well. However, my favorite exercise to use the Swiss barbell for is skull crushers. Most people usually forego this exercise because of the annoying elbow pain that tends to come with it, or they just switch to dumbbells. I mean, you can obviously use dumbbells for this exercise, but if you really want to load up as much weight as possible, you need a barbell to do so. But the added benefit with the Swiss barbell is you can use the neutral grips, which will simulate the dumbbell position and also immediately get rid of or reduce any sort of elbow strain you might have during the movement. So there you have it, guys, an easy and instant fix to eliminate shoulder and elbow pain on most exercises while still utilizing a barbell to lift some heavy ass weights. And if you want to add something like this to your home gym, I'll post a link down to grongfitnessproduct.com along with the promo code for 15% off down in that info section below. And now, as always, there will be more good stuff coming soon, but I thought it would be cool to end this video a bit differently and show a quick montage of all the exercises you can do with the Swiss barbell.